Hey guys, Matty Miller here with Pursuit Real Estate. Hope you guys are doing well. And today we are going to give you a rundown of what it's like to be either a first-time buyer or maybe just another buyer here in the Northeast Florida market, and what that looks like from we're calling it a roadmap. So basically from pre-contract to closing, what do those stages look like when you're buying a home here in Northeast Florida? And we're going to break it down right here. All right, guys. So if you're watching this video anywhere, whatever platform you're watching it, whether email, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, you should be able to click the link and you can get this full version. If you kind of want to use it to kind of see it, or if you're thinking about buying a home and you want to know how long does this take, what are all these steps, or you can just kind of follow along here. We'll go through that. So the first thing we really want to do when you engage anybody as far as buying a home is we got to see if you're able to buy a home. So the pre-approval process, it doesn't take very long. You got to find somebody who's a trusted lender in the area that can help you get a pre-approval letter. That letter basically is your keys to go look at homes at that point. The next thing at that point in time is to engage a real estate agent, which actually isn't on here. But at the same time, if you're talking to me or doing those, you want to talk to an agent who can get you probably to your pre-approval. So you've probably already hired the agent prior to getting to this process. But once you hire the agent and get the pre-approval, we can start the second process, which is, again, a pre-contract. You'll see it in the green. It is the home search. And this is basically, hey, what are we looking for? What's our budget? Are we looking for specific areas? Are we looking for specific square footage? Do we need a house with a pool? Do we need a house with no pool specifically? Do we want to be on the water? Do we want to be on a golf course? What are those things that you are must-haves and that fit your budget? So that's where we're going to start that. And that's going to be largely online, and obviously a couple times we'll obviously go out and look at property, and maybe it's more than a couple times. Maybe it's 5, maybe it's 7, maybe we got to look at 12 to 15 homes, somewhere in that ballpark, to find that perfect one. So let's say in theory we find our perfect house. We are going to make an offer on that house. Well, what does that look like? So we're going to write the offer for you. We're going to talk about the timelines and the dates in those offers and kind of how that works. So once we get the offer accepted, let's say we write the offer, the seller accepts it, and we are under contract. So we're off and running. What happens then is as soon as we get that property under contract, there's something that we have to do. It's called a binder deposit. Some call it an earnest money deposit. Earnest money, binder money, same kind of thing. Basically, when we have a contract that's largely just paper, right? I mean, a contract is just paper. It doesn't really mean anything unless there is some type of consideration. So consideration is basically some money exchanged hands from one party to another that makes that contract whole. Okay. So it makes that contract binding, if you will. So typically in our market, standard, if you're buying a $500,000 home, your standard binder is 1% of the sales price, can be $5,000. If you're in, a super competitive subsection of a market, you maybe need to increase your binder to make your offer look better. Your binder, then you don't lose that binder. It goes towards your down payment once you close on the house. So a lot of people ask that question. If you decide to cancel the deal in the inspection period, which we'll get to next, you could get that binder back. Moving on to next is inspections and negotiations. So I don't think I've ever done a home, ever sold a home or bought a home where we haven't had an inspection when it was working for somebody other than maybe a potential investor on some type of flip deal or something like that. But basically, we are going to urge you to do an inspection on every home that you buy. We want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with it. We want to make sure you're aware of what issues may need to be done down the road and what the current condition of all those things in the house are. We have a couple of different inspection companies we use. Obviously, you can choose who you want. If you don't care, which most people really don't, we'll just get you one, get it set up, and go from there. Average home inspection cost anywhere from $300 to $500, depending on the size of the home, what type of inspections you need to do, and what type of financing you do, because FHA and VA require different inspections than what maybe a conventional loan does. We're going to make sure that all those repairs are there. If we come back and we get a bunch of things that need to be done, we are going to then go negotiate with the seller on the buyer side, if we're working the buyer side, which on this particular situation we are. We're going to go negotiate with the seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, we found this, and this that are problems. We are going to want you to fix them. Or a lot of the times sellers will say, hey, listen, we're not going to fix them right now, but we'll do a credit. So we'll knock off, $3,000 or $4,000 off the sale price, or we'll give you credit and closing costs. So that way, as soon as you move in, you can go fix those things yourself. So that's basically where we're at there. Once we get past that, and kind of during that process, we'll have an appraisal. And we'll have the underwriting process. For those of you who don't know what an appraisal is, it's very simple. So if you're getting a loan, I'll use my cell phone, for example. This is my collateral. Essentially, if this has value to it, always has value to it because it's always ringing half the time. But that's a whole other situation. So basically what they're going to go look and say, hey, that cell phone's worth $800, cool, on the market value. Or in the case of a house, this house is worth $500,000. We're going to give you the money to do that. We want to make sure that the house that we're lending you money on is worth that. Okay. So the appraisal is basically, okay, your collateral is worth that amount of money. Okay, cool. So that's what they do. We are very rarely seeing appraisals come back low. Most of the time they're coming back at value. We're not having a lot of issues with that. Okay. So once we have the appraisal and the underwriting process is done, let's talk about the underwriting process real quick. The underwriting process is coming from your lender, which is also making sure that you have enough income to buy the home and you don't have any credit issues or what that situation may look like. Once that's done, we are basically going to schedule closing. We get our clear to close. We're going to do a final walkthrough on the property to make sure the house is standing and that everything is cleared out of the home, assuming that the seller had stuff in there, that it's been broom swept clean, which a lot of people are like, well, don't they have to professionally clean a home? Basically, all you have to do in the state of Florida, well, at least per our contract, is broom swept clean. That's it. So a lot of people will hire cleaners to come in right before they move in, which is probably also a good idea. Once you have that final walkthrough done, we are going to closing table. We're going to wire the funds. We're going to sign the closing documents and you're going to get your keys. And you are all of a sudden a new homeowner. So I do understand that that's a very quick roadmap and very quick presentation. But if you guys have any more questions, we're going to do another video here in another week or so that's going to break down a little more of some of those steps in a little more detail. If you guys have any questions about this or you need it, you can call me or email me 904-650-3890, or you can always email me at Matty@pursuitrealestate.com and we'll get you this over. And if you have any questions, we can answer those as we go.